You know they say that some places have a history so dark, it just seeps into the ground. A history that can watch you, follow you, and sometimes even attach itself to you. Today, we're diving into a chilling true story out of Saudi Arabia. It's about what should have been a routine construction job that turned into a desperate fight for survival, all on a mountain that really did not want to be disturbed.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You show up to work, you've got a deadline, your team's all ready to go. But what if the very ground beneath your feet had its own plans? An agenda that's ancient, powerful, and does not like visitors.
Okay, so before we go any further, let's get on the same page about what we're dealing with here. Jinn. Now, these aren't ghosts or demons like you might think of them. They're believed to be beings made of smokeless fire, an ancient race that coexists with us. And in many cultures, this isn't just folklore, it's a living reality. They can be good, they can be bad, and as we're about to see, they can be incredibly territorial. And that is the absolute heart of this story.
So let's meet our main character. His name is Adel, and Adel is a total professional. He's an experienced construction manager. You know, the kind of guy a company trusts with its most important projects. He's not superstitious. He's a man who believes in blueprints, in deadlines, and in just getting the job done.
So, Adel gets handed this big assignment. It's a major construction project in a pretty remote area, about 30 kilometers outside the famous city of Medina. His company knows he's the best for the job, someone who's not going to crack under pressure.
The setup seems pretty straightforward. Adel gets a crew of 30 local guys, plus an assistant named Hani. But here's the kicker, the detail that changes everything. The deadline is insanely tight. To have any chance of meeting it, they have to work double shifts. And that means working all through the night out in the middle of nowhere.
And this is where things start to go sideways. On the very first night shift, Adel hits a huge roadblock. But it's not a problem with the equipment or the materials. It's a human problem. His entire local crew is terrified, and they flat out refuse to work at the site after the sun goes down. So what you have here is just a total clash of worlds, right? On one side, you've got Adel, the modern manager, thinking logically. To him, these guys are just being lazy, trying to get out of a tough shift. He's thinking about efficiency. But on the other side, you have the workers. Their reality has been shaped by generations of local beliefs, and they see something powerful, something malevolent in the land itself, a power they are sure will hurt them.
Adel's own assistant, Hani. He tries to be the bridge. He goes to Adel and explains what the crew is feeling. He tells him this isn't just some vague, spooky feeling. There's a specific story, a legend passed down for who knows how long, warning people that this exact place is guarded by something ancient.
But Adel, he's just not buying it. He sees it as an excuse, maybe a tactic to get more money. So he plays his trump card, their paychecks. He lays it down, plain and simple, no work, no pay. And, well, faced with losing their wages, the men very reluctantly agree to stay. Adel probably thinks he's won, that he called their bluff. But his assistant Hani, he knows they've all just made a terrible, terrible mistake.
So the night shift starts, and for the first couple hours, everything is totally normal. You know, you hear the sounds of heavy machinery, the work is getting done. Adel's probably sitting back, feeling like he made the right call, thinking all that talk was just superstitious nonsense. Everything is going just fine.
And then it happens. Just a blood-curdling scream rips through the noise of the worksite. Everything stops. Everyone rushes over to find one of the workers passed out cold on the ground. They manage to bring him around, but when he wakes up, he is in a state of pure terror.
He's frantic, he's looking all around, shouting about a man in black clothes who just appeared out of nowhere, grabbed him and beat him. The other workers try to calm him down, telling him it was just a bad dream, that he fainted from the heat and the exhaustion. But that seed of fear, it's just been planted.
A little while later, things get even weirder. Adel's in a site office, and he happens to look out, and he sees the most bizarre thing. It's his assistant, Hani, just calmly walking away from the lights of the site, deeper into the pitch-black desert. And he's leading a donkey. A donkey that, where on earth did a donkey come from? So Adel runs out, totally confused, and he calls out to Hani. And when Hani turns around, his voice is flat. His eyes are empty, and he says this. And that's the moment. That is the exact moment Adel's entire rational worldview just shatters into a million pieces. This isn't a prank. This isn't a dream. This is happening.
As Hani's words are just hanging there in the air, the true horror of the situation slams into Adel. He looks back at the construction site, and his entire crew of 30 men has stopped working. They're just wandering around, muttering to people who aren't there, moving in these strange, jerky ways, like puppets. And in that one awful instant, Adel realizes he is completely, terrifyingly alone. Sheer panic just takes over. Every warning was real, the legend was real, and they have trespassed in the worst possible way. Adel knows there's only one thing to do: get himself and his men out of there right now.
But as he makes his first move to run, this voice booms through the night. It's not coming from any one person. It seems to be coming from everywhere at once, from the rocks, from the air, from the mountain itself. And its message is crystal clear. They're not just trespassing anymore. They're prisoners. What happens next is just pure chaos. Adel is scrambling, trying to round up his dazed and possessed crew, shaking them, screaming at them to run. And as they start to flee, the huge, powerful work lights they'd set up begin to explode, one by one, plunging the entire area into absolute, terrifying darkness. And as they're running for their lives, this cold, mocking laughter just echoes from the darkness right behind them, like it's enjoying their fear. Somehow they make it. They get off the site, they stumble onto a nearby road, sweating, terrified, in total shock. And it's there that they run into an old man, a local elder. And this man, he takes one look at this panicked group of men, and he seems to understand exactly what they've just been through. And the elder, he explains everything. He tells them that this whole area used to belong to the Jinn, but as humans built cities and expanded, they pushed the Jinn out of their lands, and this mountain, it's one of their last strongholds. So they don't just see human activity here as a disturbance, they see it as an invasion. He finishes by telling Adel they are unbelievably lucky, because most people who disturb the mountain at night are simply never seen again. And the scale of this place is just mind-boggling. We're not talking about just that one little construction site. No, the haunted territory is a 15-kilometer stretch of land. It's a place so supernaturally active that it's famous for this one bizarre thing. Cars put in neutral don't roll downhill. They get pulled uphill against gravity by some invisible force.
After what happened, Adel and his entire team refused to go back. The whole project was abandoned. But the warning about that region, it still stands. And it leaves all of us with this final chilling thought. The danger isn't just about what happens when you're on the mountain. It's about what you might bring back with you.